Hello, how are you? Taking off my shoes. um, Lynn, good morning. When I see your name, I think of gardening. Don't know if you've started yet. I haven't. Stevie, good morning. Stevie, we have our 10th person. So someone just joined us today for Scotland. All right. Oh, okay. So how are you ladies? What's going on? If any of you were with me on Saturday, which I think you were, I want to know if you were sore. I definitely had some trunk soreness, which I thought was amazing. I definitely want to continue with strengthening structural muscles, postural muscles, muscles of balance, really important for healthy aging. So that's definitely going to be a focus of today's practice. And then, of course, if there's any special requests, I'd love to hear that. And help create a practice that is needed. Hope you're all staying warm. All right. Well, if you have nothing in particular to request, let me go back to my position and get ready to teach. All right. So I definitely have some extra stuff today. So for today's practice, I'm going to use a little extra props, and I'm usually hesitant because I'm not sure exactly what you have in your space to use, but I do like to show the options because there's different aspects of what I'm going to do. There's different reasons for them, or they actually can have a little extra benefit. And so that's what I'd like to do today. I'd like to share some extra ways to support yourself in more of a restorative posture. And so with restorative yoga, the intention of restorative yoga is really to focus on calming the nervous system and to be completely relaxing. And there's certain things we can do that actually can help to facilitate that. And having props is one of the ways that we do this. So for the practice today, we will need a blanket, a block, and a strap at the minimum, or something that is close to them or can be used as them, like maybe a rope strap or a belt. Those are the three things that we will need that we'll use for the practice. And then the additions I'm going to put today is that I am going to put this underneath my pelvis and do a supported bridge posture. This is called an inversion. When we elevate our pelvis, it's an inversion. And an inversion helps to increase the volume of blood in the upper body. So when the pelvis is elevated, and then even if you lift up your legs and do other postures that are inversions, when we lift up our pelvis, the increase volume of blood up to the heart, it's perceived or noticed by the carotid arteries and the aortic arch in the heart. There's these little receptors that actually will stimulate the relaxation zone. So being an inversion in and of itself physically affects our biochemistry. And so I'm going to put this underneath my bottom to elevate myself. And for some of you, that may be too high. So getting a blanket and folding a blanket could be another option for you. So whatever that is, it also could be a block. So it could be a blanket, could be a bolster. And the counterindications for doing the inversions are if you have glaucoma, you would not want to do this, or if you have a headache, or anything that you have that should not have extra pressure in the eye area or head area. So if you know that you have something like that, you would definitely want to avoid this or minimize any kind of elevation you put underneath your tushy. So we're going to come down onto the ground and bring our mind into our body. This is also really helpful to practice now because if you have trouble sleeping, it's good to really practice how to ground your mental energy. And so when we do relaxation practice, when we're not in a stress state, then we actually have it for our benefit when we're in a stress state. So reaching your hand long, bringing yourself down onto the ground. If you are going to do an elevation of your body, get whatever it is you're going to use and bring it underneath your body. Now, one thing is you want to be careful here that you don't have too much support behind your head. So either no support or very minimal support. And then if you do have an extra blanket, if you were on the colder side or you wanted a little more grounding, having something heavy on the belly or the torso can actually be nice and grounding for the body. And then let's bring our hands onto our belly, arms alongside your body. Press your arms into the ground to lift your body up so that your shoulder blades slide towards each other. Find comfort. Beginning to calm down the nervous system, bringing your mind and body and soul to this moment, to right here, right now. Keep your mouth closed, breathe in and out through your nose, and notice what you notice about your body, your breath. Well, let your awareness go into your torso as you breathe. Notice if you're breathing equally on both sides. And bring your awareness to your diaphragm, which is lining your lower rib cage. Notice if both sides move equally. And then bring your awareness to your belly. Hands are on the belly. Begin breathing deep into your belly. And let your mind be in your belly. Spread your fingers so you're able to feel the movement of your belly, bringing your thumbs up to the lower ribs, right where the diaphragm is, and spreading your fingers from there. So when you begin the breath, you feel the activation of the diaphragm right at the lower ribs.
Great.
Let's do a rectangle breath, visualizing the shape of a rectangle, longer sides, shorter sides. I'll try a 6-3-6-3 breath. See if that works for you. And then when you breathe on your own and counting, you may need to go down to 4-2-4-2. There's a retention here. We inhale for a count, then we hold the breath. Then we exhale, and then we hold the exhale out. So it's called Savitri Pranayama. Visualize the rectangle, listen to the counting, feel your hands on your belly. Take a big breath, exhale. Let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Continue on your own, counting, visualizing a rectangle, and feeling your belly move underneath your palms. Stay with your breath. Visualize the rectangle, count, and feel your hands move. Keep your mind busy. Finishing the breath you're on, take 3 more breaths. When you finish your last breath, give your breath back to your body to breathe itself. If you'd like to come into a deeper inversion, bring your feet closer to your body and bring your legs up into the sky, either bending the knees, this would be one step, so lifting your feet off the floor, or even lifting your legs up towards the sky to get a deeper aspect of letting the fluids come down. If your legs are in the air, point and flex your feet. And then circles in one direction, circles in the other. Bringing your legs down. With this prop underneath, take one leg straight, one leg bent. You could hold on to it if you're able to reach, really stretching that hip flexor muscle group of the extended leg, contracting it on the other side. Slide the shoulder blades towards your heart, push your heart up towards the sky. Close your eyes so you can feel what's happening in your body, noticing where you have tension, where you have tightness, what parts of your body do you need to stretch more. This is the hip joint. Flexing the hip joint on one side, stretching the hip joint in the other. Draw the legs in deeply, really stretch that opposite side. Make sure it feels appropriate. Take one more breath, and then let's switch. Extend one leg, bend the other. Your choice if you want to hold on behind the leg. The deeper you draw that leg towards your body, the more stretch you may experience on the other side, lengthening one side of the hip flexors, contracting the other. This can also help to release chronic tension holding on the low back, so it can be good for low back tension release. If you're able to come into a fully stretched body with the prop underneath your pelvis, do so unless it feels uncomfortable. If the low back is not happy, try pressing the heart up towards the sky, and that'll bring more of that pressure in the spine a little higher into the thoracic curve. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. Take your prop off to the side. Then come into the fully outstretched position here without anything underneath. Blanket is behind your head. If you need to fold your blanket a little more, you can do so now without the prop there. Inhale. As you exhale, draw the left leg in slowly towards your chest, pulling left leg as close as you could get it to your body. Inhale to stretch. Exhale, bring the right leg in. Go slow, close your eyes. A lot can happen here for the low back, so pay attention to what's happening at the low back or the whole back spine. Inhale to straighten, exhale to contract the leg. This is called knees to chest, one of the most basic moves in the practice of yoga. Has a lot of therapeutic value for skeletal health and for digestive health. Pressing the belly towards the leg towards the belly can support digestion and detoxification, moving lymphatic fluids and compressing organs of digestion, moving food through your digestive tract. If going with one breath is a little too much for your body, then slow it down and take a breath to come all the way long and a breath to come into the contraction. It's your practice, your body. Last one. Draw both legs in, rocking side to side. And bring yourself onto the side. Opening up your hand on the ground. Push your hand into the ground, your elbow into the ground to bring yourself up to seated. Let's move our props off to the side so that you have a clean space for practicing. And then bring your blanket to the middle of the mat. And then come to gather yourself to prepare for the physical practice. When I was studying in India, they taught us that that posture we just did is called Apanasana, knees to chest, or it's also known as gas relieving pose or wind relieving pose. And they told us that they put that posture into at least 80% of all of the practices they're sharing with their patients. We were at a research center and at a hospital studying yoga therapy. And so that has so much therapeutic value. It also helps to digest mental, emotional energy. So even at the layer of psychological stress, there's benefits to coming into a forward fold because there's deep relaxation in that flexion position. There's a safety because that's actually the shape the body would go into. So knees to chest has a profound, deep healing aspect to it. And it's a great way to keep your hips healthy, your back healthy, to release tension in the low back and in the hips. So Apanasana, knees to chest, wind releasing or releasing pose, yeah. And it may actually have you pass some gas. So you'll really know that that's why they named it that, because it has that ability to really support digestion. So let's move our body, warm up our body. If you have socks on, you could take the socks off, doing a little bit of movement to get the body warm. Coming onto your hands, support your wrists if you need them. Let's do a little movement here through cat and cow. Take your hands forward and your legs a little wide. We're going to do a wide cat and cow. So bring your awareness first to your tailbone. Start to move the tailbone up and down the back wall so that you're actually moving your pelvis and not your rib cage yet. Moving your pelvis separate from your rib cage. As if you had a paintbrush on the back of your tail, painting up and down the wall behind you. And then bring yourself back to center. Push your belly up towards your spine so you don't have a deep low back curve. So try not to be in a deep low back curve. Try to bring in that trunk support to stabilize your trunk here. And then start to swish your hips side to side. Keep your rib cage stationary. Moving your hips side to side, stretching waist muscles, core muscles, hips. If your wrists are not happy, push your weight back a little bit more into your knees so that you're weighting backwards. Bring yourself back to center. Bring your awareness to your tailbone. Start to make a big circle as if you had a Sharpie marker and you're drawing it on the wall behind you. And then switch directions. Warming up your low back, the muscles, the joints. And then bring yourself back to center. Come all the way up. Let's do a little bit more for the hip. Bring one foot forward and bring it very far forwards. Take both hands on top of your thigh. Look straight ahead. It'll be easier for balance. Exhale. And then inhale. Bring all your body weight forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Push that front foot into the floor. Push the heel into the floor. And that'll help to support you for balance. Coming forward and back. Keep your gaze forward so that you can stay balanced. And notice how this does actually move the body weight in the pelvis, through the hip joint, the spine. There's a lot of balance the body has to manage here, moving forward and back. One more. And then bring yourself up and out. Bring the other leg forward. Walk the foot forward, forward. Take your hands on your thigh. Exhale. Inhale, bending that front knee and that front hip to come forward. And then back. And then one more. And then bring yourself up and bring yourself out. Come here onto your shins. Take your legs a little wide. Start to move your hips side to side. Bring your hands onto your waist. Push your elbows back. So doing a little weight bearing warm up in the hips. This is weight bearing. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's go in a circular pattern. So push your pelvis forward. Push your pelvis to the side. Push your pelvis back. Keep your heart open, front spine long. And then push yourself to the other side. Forward, side, back. You're making a big circle here. Stretching low back, hips, waist, core muscles, trunk muscles. And then bring yourself back to center. Bring your pelvis forward, side, back, side. Making sure the front of your spine stays long. Keep your head lifted. So don't look down, because wherever the head goes, the spine follows. We want to keep our head on top of our torso intentionally so we don't put that extra pressure into our back muscles to try to manage the balancing your head on top of your body. And then bring yourself back to center. Coming to legs directly underneath the pelvis. Let's take one foot out to the side and point the toes forward. We're going to stretch the side of the hip joint here with weight in this weight bearing pattern. And then we're going to really lengthen the side of the body. This is great for low back health. Your spine down the center of your body, the intention here is to bend it so that you compress the side of the spine here. That's going to press the fluids in the discs to this side. And then we're going to stretch all the muscles here. When we lift our arm up, we actually lengthen lymphatic vessels. So we actually help lymph flow as well. So this is a really powerful posture, gate latch posture it's called. And then we're stretching the ankle joint here, the lateral chain, the side of the body. So this is a side body stretch, stretching the side here, and then we stretch the side here with the arm up. Bring your hand onto your thigh, take your other hand down, exhale, and then inhale, reach up and over. Reach your fingertips down and your fingertips up. You could squeeze your tushy cheeks here to pull your tailbone down, to lengthen your spine and add a little bit of a back bend in that thoracic spine. Look forward and up. Reach your fingers straight up towards the sky, slightly over. So bending and stretching that side, and then letting your hands slide down the leg to keep you in nice alignment in this stretch. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself down and out. Let's come to the other side. Bring your foot off to the side, bending the foot, bending the ankle. Start to stretch this hip. So coming into it, notice if it's tight, maybe doing a little movement to create some secretion of lubricating fluids in your hip. Take one hand down, one hand on your leg. Coming into your neutral position here. So trying to make sure your hips are not up. Really try to move your hips down into a neutral. One hand down, one hand to the side. Exhale. And then inhale to reach up, reaching up and long. Reach down your leg with your arm. Lift your heart. Make sure that the arch is active, that you're pushing through that pinky toe edge on the leg that's lengthened. Squeeze your tushy cheeks. Try to pull the tailbone down. That'll help you get a little posterior tilt in your pelvis and then get that length and some extension in the thoracic spine. So strong and healthy stretching in the joints. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out of that. Bring yourself down in whatever position you can. If you could bend your knees and sit on your heels, do that. Close your eyes. And if you can't do that, sit in a crisscross leg position. And and then gently open your eyes. So either stay here, you could stay here and support yourself with the block. Sitting on the block feels great. Or you could be in a kneeling position, lifting up if your knees don't like to bend. Or you could sit in a crisscross position. Let's focus on the upper body here. Inhale, slide your shoulder blades towards each other. Exhale to hug yourself. Inhale to open, exhale. So now we're going into the shoulders and the upper spine. So making sure that you move with a lot of stretch. So you're not just throwing your arms out there. You're really moving out there as if you were in honey and there was a resistance to actually move through that thick honey to open up your arms in this outstretched position. Exhale, inhale. This can help to realign the spine, help supports posture muscles and joint placement of the shoulder girdle. Super important for healthy aging and for bone health. Let your heart lift forward. Come out, stay here. Let your gaze look up. With the head lifting up, you're putting some work into the upper back and neck muscles. Make sure that feels okay for you and adjust accordingly. Heart is lifted, gaze is up, hands are to the side. Now slide your shoulder blades towards each other and draw them down towards the pelvis behind you. So you feel the tips of your shoulder blades moving downwards. Take one more breath. Let your head come back to a neutral, take the tension out of the neck, and then let your arms come down. Shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. And then bring yourself back to center. Bring your hands onto your shoulders, up and down with the shoulders, stretching the lateral chain, the lymphatic, there's a lot of lymphatic vessels underneath the armpit. So moving your arms up and down like this can be supportive of lymphatic movement, which is supportive of immune function. Inhale, lift your arms up, and then exhale, chin to chest, bring your arms down, bring your arms forward, bring your arms up, and open. Exhale down, inhale up, chin down. Try to move as big as you can. Feel the stretch. Feel the stretch in your neck, stretching your shoulders, stretching your chest. One more. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's move on to some spinal warm-up, hip joint movements. And when we are in the seated position, the kneeling position, or on one foot and one knee, all of these positions are weight bearing. So we're actually working our body in the way that we move throughout the day, where we usually are not lying down all day long. So this is the opportunity to correct that joint alignment, which is so important for aging in our joints, so we don't have extra wear and tear. And then if you want to strengthen your bones, you need to have that proper alignment in order to strengthen the bones. So for those of you that can, come here and balance on your feet. Let's practice a little balance here. So you'd have to have your knees bend quite a bit. Not everybody can do that, but if you are able to get your knees to bend, grab the floor with your toes, balance here. It's pretty interesting how challenging this is. Take your hands together. This helps with balance. When hands are together like this, it actually stimulates a part of the brain that supports balance. So bring the hands together like this at your heart. And then let's come out of that. Take your blanket, fold your blanket in double, or if you're pretty tight and you know you're tight in the hips, then fold it again, or sit on the bolster. Let your block and strap be off to the side. Let's bring the legs forward. Reach under and grab flesh. So really feel that you're grabbing the big glute muscles. Right, we'll say that that's what it is. Grabbing the big glute muscles, move them off to the side. And then bring your legs straight. Let's point and flex one and then the other. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders and bring your palms up. This will help to support posture. Go so strong that you actually feel the calf stretch when you do this. Point and flex. Very important to have strong calves for heart health, for feet health, balance health, and actually for overall health. Bring yourself a little wider with your feet open and bring them towards each other. Keep your elbows underneath. This is going to help you. We're working on posture here, strengthening posture, and it's hard. It's a challenge to stay up here. Really squeeze your elbows towards your body and bring your hands out to the side. That'll be a little more assistance. Looking forward and up, feeling the heat in the hip flexors, working here to hold you in this position, and then shake your legs. Let's crisscross our legs and notice which leg comes in first. So there's a natural way that we come. So notice which one of your legs came in first, and then come to the seated position again, moving the flesh off to the side. For those of you that have your knees really high, you may need to support if you need a block to put underneath them, or if you have an injury or an issue. So if you need that, you can put the block underneath if you feel a lot of pull in your body. So let's warm up the lower spine and the midsection of the body. We're going to do what are called Sufi grinds. We're going to take our body into a spiraling shape, moving around, really warming up, lubricating this part of the body. The important thing you want to make sure is you don't collapse your body. So make sure there's no rounding in the upper spine. Sit nice and upright. Bring yourself forward. Push yourself over to the side. Use the opposite hand to push that leg down. See if you could feel that stretch that comes into the hip and the low back. When you come here, push the belly toward the spine. Push the low back the most. So don't round your upper spine. Let it be the low back that comes into flexion. And then go to the other side. Push your hand down on that leg to really stretch that opposite side. And then bring yourself forward. Heart is open, throat is open. Go so that you actually feel all the stretching that takes place in the hips. Inhale when you come forward. Exhale when you move back. Close your eyes. Inhale when you go forward. And exhale back. One more in this direction. And then bring yourself back to center. Sit upright. Notice which leg is the farthest away from you. Put your hand on that knee. Take your other hand on the top thigh of the other leg. Take your leg straight. Shake, shake, shake. And now bring the leg in where the hand is on the knee. Bring that leg in. And then bring the other leg in. It may feel a little weird. We want to repattern our body here. So hopefully you remember which direction you are going in. We're going to go in the other direction. Push yourself forward, over to the side, push down on that opposite leg. Back goes back, holding onto your legs to support your weight, to the other side. And forward, throat open. Turn this into a smooth movement. Long spine. The slower you go, the more advanced the practice is. The harder it is, the longer you stay in joints, the more you strengthen your joints, which is better for healthy aging. To have stronger joints, stronger muscles, tendons, and ligaments, and especially to have better alignment in your joints. Close your eyes. Try to keep this as smooth of a move as you can. One more. And then bring yourself back to center. Come all the way up. Take your legs straight. Let's come into a twist. So bending one leg, get your block, put your block behind you on that side. Bend the leg, hold on with the opposite arm, push down on the block. Make sure that you are growing right out of your pelvis. So your body is growing right out of the pelvis. You're able to get a long spine and add a little back bend to the upper spine. Exhale, push your legs into the ground, and as you inhale, the lower ribs, the middle ribs, and the upper ribs rotate to the side. Take 3 breaths here. Keep lifting your spine, bending the upper spine, long spine and rotation. Lower the shoulders, long neck. When you finish that 3rd breath, gently bring yourself out. Let's go to the other side. Bending the knee. Take your hand on the leg, sit nice and tall, and the other hand is on the block. Prepare yourself to come into rotation to keep it safe. Rotation is great for strengthening your spine, and you need to make sure you do it safely. Press your leg and your foot into the ground. Exhale, and then inhale. Lower ribs, middle ribs, and upper ribs rotate. When you come in, find length, find extension in the upper spine, a little back bend, lower the shoulders, slide shoulder blades towards each other. 3 breaths. And then bring yourself out. Legs are straight. Go ahead and grab your block. Let's bring the block between the legs and come into a wide leg stretch. And come to the front edge of your blanket, reach under, move the flesh away. So really bring yourself into as big of a supported leg stretch as you can. The block is here so you can push down to get length in your spine and not be collapsing forward. So use the block to push down on, depending on what your level of flexibility is. Push down to get tall. You're working posturally to be in this position with this deep hip flexion and this straight spine. So this is work for the spine, work for the core, work for the stabilizing muscles of the trunk. And this will help to get your body in a really great flexibility place for you to do postures like triangle or twisted triangle, and especially if you're using those postures to strengthen your bones. Let's add a little lateral flexion. So bring one hand on the inside of the leg, bring the other hand onto your waist, move the elbow back, push down and get tall in your spine. Let your heart look forward. Long spine, a little back bend in the upper spine. Use that shoulder blade of your bent arm to push forward to help bend your spine a little. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back. Let's do the other side. So come back through center. Take your hand on the inner thigh. Bring your hand on your waist. Push your elbow back. That'll bring the shoulder blade towards the spine and help keep you safe for rotation. Exhale and then inhale. Rotate into this. Use that shoulder blade to press back and press forward to lift your heart. Take one more breath. Then bring yourself forward. Let's take this block off to the side. Take one leg, bend one leg. So bring it up as high as you can, touching your leg as much as you can, trying to get the knee to move towards the ground. Then bring the hand on the inside of the leg. Bring your other hand up here at eye level. So keep it up pretty high. Exhale. And as you inhale, follow your gaze with your thumb. Look at your thumb, gaze to thumb. As you inhale, and then exhale to come back to neutral. Inhale. Exhale. Make sure your spine is long, so it's not really about reaching too far with the hand that's on the leg. Hand is going up and back. One more, come here and stay here. Stay here. Slide that shoulder blade towards your heart and then lift your heart. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out. Let's come to the other side. Leg is straight. Leg is bent. Hand on the inside. Other hand comes up. Exhale. Inhale to open. And exhale. Notice if you feel any clinging or clanking. As long as it feels okay, realigning joints, moving through the cobwebs, clearing out the cobwebs in the body. One more. Bring yourself back to center. Bring the soles of the feet into each other in Baddha Konasana, trying to press the knees towards the ground. Long spine. If you add a little bend at the hip joint, not at the spine, but at the hip, you'll deepen that stretch in the inner thighs if you need that. And then take one more breath. Let's move on to the hips. This is the kind of practice, doing this seated, deep hip work and spine and trunk work here, that you feel really good after you do this. And it can be really relieving for those of you that have back pain, but paying attention when you're doing the practice to be in your comfort zone. So having your knees bent like this, for those of you with knee issues that knees don't usually bend, they bend in this position because you're in this externally rotated hip joint position, and it gives a freedom to the knees. So it's usually easier to bend the knees when you're in a seated crisscross leg position. So bringing your legs forward, let's come over to this first, wherever your back leg is, wherever the back leg is, go to that side. So come forward with your hands, keep your spine long, and start to bring the lower belly towards the top thigh. So bending at the hip joint, feel the opposite side stretch. And then where you place your arms will determine how deep that stretch goes for you. This is a hip joint stretch, posterior hip, glute. Maybe you'll feel this in your low back. Keep your head lifted, keep your spine long. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up. Go to the other side. So bring your arms over to the other side. Walk your hands away. Noticing what you feel on this side versus the other side. Go to where you can, keeping your spine long and letting the bend be at the hip joint. And then move your arms. That'll determine how much stretch you get in that lower back area. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back. So you have one leg in back, one leg in the front. Let's switch. Bring the other leg front, the other leg back. The leg that's in the back, you're going to go to that side first, which is where you just were, probably. Or yes, it was, right? Because we went opposite. And notice if you feel a deeper sensation here in the back of your body where the stretch is. Or not. Take one more breath. And then either come back up and readjust, or you can walk yourself over, keeping your spine long. Making sure you don't compress the front of your spine. That's always the goal, is not to put extra pressure right by the lower ribs. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up. Bring yourself out. Legs are forward. Shake your legs. Coming off that blanket, bring your blanket onto the mat. Let's take the hands forward. Take the hands forward and wide, and then bring your body forward, stretching the front of the hips, coming into a back bend. Couple of breaths here. Take one more breath. And then bending your hips. Bring yourself back, stretching your spine. Bring yourself back. Low belly comes towards the top thighs. Arms are straight. Feel that stretching into the armpits, the chest. Let the forehead rest on the floor. Bring yourself up. Stretching the upper back. So we want to have this kind of an action when we're on the ground, this like this. So the arm is straight, the arm goes here, really stretching the back muscles. So we do this with first bending, bringing low belly towards thigh. Arm is straight. Then you bring the palm underneath your armpit over to the side, resting your head on the ground, pushing that hand into the ground, and lift that arm or that elbow up towards the sky. Feel the stretch behind that upper back area, shoulder blade, upper back. Using weight here to stretch. Flexibility is important to healthy aging, important to bone health. And this is good for shoulder joint health, upper back and neck health, posture, alignment, spinal health. Take one more breath. We're going to come to the other side. Bring your hand forward, palm up, then slide the hand underneath the body. Let the head rest on the mat. Try to push that hand into the ground. Really feel that stretch behind the shoulder blades. Take one more breath. Then bring yourself up. Bring yourself out. So let's do some core work with weight. Your knees go to the back edge of your blanket. You bring yourself forward. Come down onto your forearms in a modification of dolphin plank. From here, take one arm out to the side. Exhale. Inhale, lift the arm up. Exhale, put it down. Inhale. Exhale. Try not to let your trunk move. So go slow, stabilize yourself. Point your tailbone down, press your belly up towards your spine. And then bring that arm forward. Recalibrate your body here. Let your hand go out to the other side. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Adding trunk rotation, stabilizing with the stabilizing muscles of the trunk. Don't let your chest collapse. One more. Bring yourself down and then bring your belly all the way to the ground. Come into Sphinx to rest. And take your elbows wide and forward. Hold on to your head with your hands. Use the heel of the hand on your jawbone. So you're supporting the weight of your head with your hands. Let your elbows go out to the side. This actually realigns the lumbar spine. So really take the weight of your head in your hands. Breathe down to your belly. And take your elbows out to the side. Let your forehead rest on the back of your hands. Walk your feet so they come straight out of your body. Let your forehead rest on the back of the left hand. Take the right hand forward and up. Turn the palm inward and thumb up towards the sky. Exhale. Inhale to lift the right arm. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Continue to move, lifting on the inhale, lowering on the exhale. Notice what's happening in your back. Stabilization. On your next one, come up and hold. And then bring your hand down, switch. Hand behind the head, palm is in, thumb is up towards the sky. Exhale. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. You inhale to lift and exhale to lower. Go at the pace of your breath. Push your pubic bone towards the ground to help manage this movement in your body. One more. And then bring your hands back underneath your forehead. Do the same thing with the feet. Let the soles of the feet point up towards the sky. Toenails are on the ground. Legs are coming right out of your body. Exhale. With the right leg, lift up on the inhale. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Bend the right knee. Sole of the foot is up towards the sky. Exhale. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale.
Using the glutes and the back of the body that stabilizes the pelvis. One more. Bring the leg down. Move to the other leg. Sole of the foot is up towards the sky. Exhale. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Go at your pace. Push your pubis bone towards the ground to help protect low back. One more. And then bend the knee, sole of the foot up towards the sky. Exhale. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. Feel your body managing this movement. One more. And then bend both knees, spread your legs, let your legs flop side to side. Let the tension leave. And then bring your arm up, roll onto your side. Go into your body, notice what's happened today, how your body is feeling. Using a lot of weight bearing to stretch today, a lot of joint stretching, lengthening, realigning. Bring your hand onto the ground, push yourself up to seated. And then let's prepare to come onto our backs. Take your blanket to the top of your mat. Bring yourself onto the side, from here onto the ground. Come all the way onto the ground. Blanket is underneath your head. Draw the knees into the chest. Rock side to side. Let your legs go in the air. And bring your feet down. Grab your block. Bring your block between your knees. Hands behind your head. Spinal undulation, moving the spine, working on stability up and down the spine and alignment. Take an inhale. As you exhale, squeeze the block, tilt your pelvis back, flatten your low back into the ground. Inhale to release. Exhale, squeeze the block, flatten the low back. Inhale to release. One more. Exhale, squeeze the block, flatten the low back. Inhale to release. Let's add the upper body. Squeeze the block, flatten the low back. Bring the upper body up, nose up towards the sky. Inhale to release. One more. Bring yourself down, take the blanket away from the back of the head. Let's undulate the spine a little higher up, coming into a bridge. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other, arms are down alongside the body. Walk the feet closer to your body, squeeze your block, push your feet into the floor, tilt your pelvis back, flatten your low back. Lift your head up and lengthen your neck, tuck your chin towards your chest. Exhale. Inhale, squeeze the block. Peel your spine up one vertebra at a time, lifting your back off, letting your back bend in the upper spine. Weight goes to the upper back. Exhale to lower. Inhale. And exhale. Squeeze your block for stability, turning on the stability of the midline of the body. And move your spine, articulate your spine into a back bend. One more. Come up and hold for 3 breaths. And bring yourself down. Block is out. Blanket back behind your head. Knees to chest. And then grab your strap. Put the strap around your feet, both of them. And bring your feet about a little wider than your body, or maybe as wide as your body. Bend your knees and draw your legs back. Soles of the feet are up towards the sky. Feel the low back pressing into the ground. Feel the stretch deepen the hamstring muscles at the back. Pull the strap back. Take one more breath. Bring yourself back up straight. See if you could straighten your legs this time. And then bring your legs back. You won't go as far, probably. Try to have straight legs here. Push your pelvis down into the ground. One more breath. And then bring yourself back up. Take your legs wide. Draw your knees to your chest deeply. Draw the knees towards the chest, soles up towards the sky. Lengthen your neck. Take one more breath. Take the strap off. Knees to chest. Coming into a Shavasana to allow everything to integrate into the body. So whatever you'd like to do here, if you want to put something underneath your pelvis to do an inversion in your Shavasana, or bring yourself into a fully outstretched position, palms up towards the sky, feet are relaxed. Slide the shoulder blades towards the spine. Do whatever feels appropriate for you. carry on, carry on. Vinamaya kame, govinde, mukande, udare apare. Carry on, carry on. Vinamaya kame, govinde, mukande, udare apare. Carry on, carry on. Vinamaya kame, govinde, mukande, udare apare. Carry on, carry on. Vinamaya kame, govinde, mukande, udare apare. Carry on, carry on. Vinamaya kame, govinde, mukande, udare apare. Carry on, carry on. Vinamaya kame. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bending your knees. Draw your knees into your chest one at a time or together, whatever feels right for your body. Rock across the top edge of your pelvis, side to side. Go pretty far, side to side, massaging the low back. Come onto your side. And then push yourself up to seated. Coming into a seated position that feels appropriate for your body. Bring yourself into a nice upright spine position, hands together, pressing the hands to the heart to the hands, long spine. We'll close with sound, the sound of Om, blending the ah, o, Om. So the sound is actually developed from having an open to a closed mouth during the exhalation. That's what that sound is. Depending on how big your mouth, how big you open your mouth, your breath, it's going to make that sound Om. So let's do that on the exhale. Take a big exhale to make space in your body. A big inhale. Bringing your hands up to the forehead, bowing in gratitude. So today's practice with the seated work or kneeling work definitely does a deeper stretch in some of the joints. So paying attention to whether or not that's appropriate for your body. And hopefully you feel good. Usually I feel pretty good after a class like this, so I hope you do too. All right. Let me see, who else came? Stevie.
Okay, wait. Hi, Nancy. Your ankle was really sore from Saturday practice. Well, I wonder, Stevie, did it only last for one day? Because that's what matters. If it's longer than a day, then might not be appropriate. But if it's for a day, then it could be muscular. I was actually pretty sore, not necessarily joint. I don't remember anything in my ankle. I just know that my trunk was sore from lifting our legs off the ground, I think, when we were doing plank. Or no, well, we did that in plank too, I think, but bridge. So there was a lot of stabilizing work on Saturday, and I definitely felt that. And we may even feel this today, that dolphin plank rotating the upper trunk was definitely challenging. So I hope you're all feeling good. I hope that that was appropriate for you and what you needed. I'm starting a membership group, Stronger Bones Community, which is a lot about bones, of course. That's going to start February 1st. It'll be going out to my newsletter. So if you're not on my newsletter, go to my website and sign up for my newsletter. And you'll get information about that. I also have a group program coming up starting now. Well, starts next week. The emails go out, but the February 7th is the first live. Healthy Gut, Healthy Bones. There's an option to do this with labs or without. So with labs, deeper look. Without labs, I've got some assessments that you could do to look in a little deeper into your health. So that will also be coming out in my newsletter this week. So sign up for my newsletter if you want information about either one of those programs. And I hope you have a great day. All right. Bye, everyone.